All right, well, I know that the sound out here is going to be terrible because I'm sitting in an unfinished garage, but I can't get 5 minutes of quiet in my house. So I came to my garage. This is where I go for quiet. I want to talk about Mad Max, the 1979 film directed by George Miller. It's really kind of an independent film. You know, it's part of what's known as Ozploitation. These are movies that were made in Australia on a very low budget, usually have a lot of questionable material in them, I'll just put it that way. Stuff that wouldn't fly today. You think of movies like Road Games with Stacy Keach and Jamie Lee Curtis, which was filmed in Australia. You think of movies like Razorback, which was filmed by Russell Mulcahy, about a giant warthog in the Australian outback, and you think about movies like Mad Max. That's what we're talking about, Ozploitation. Now, before I get into talking about this film, I did want to talk briefly about Furiosa, because that's the reason why I watched this last night. Instead of going off to the movie theater to watch Furiosa, I decided, I don't really feel like going to watch a movie to a sequel that I didn't really care for. Because the whole time I'm watching it, I'm just going to be thinking, Mad Max is better than this. So I guess I'm just going to stay home and watch Mad Max. And that's what I did. So all the people that don't know why Furiosa is bombing, as a longtime Mad Max fan, I can say probably the fact that Max isn't even in the movie at all. You titled it Furiosa, a Mad Max saga. So you want to bring in those Mad Max fans by attaching Max's name to the film, but then he's not even in it, so a lot of those fans aren't going to show up because we don't care about Furiosa. I didn't care about Charlize Theron's character. I didn't think that there was enough Tom Hardy as Max in Fury Road, so why would I want to watch a sequel to a film that I didn't care about? Now, I know everybody loves Fury Road. I'm not one of them. I like these. And in fact, of the original Mad Max trilogy, this one is my favorite. Stars Mel Gibson in his breakout role as Max Rokitansky. And these are known for being post-apocalyptic films that are set like after a nuclear apocalypse, but this film is less post-apocalyptic and it's more dystopian because this is before the collapse, before the nuclear holocaust takes place. Somewhere between this movie and Mad Max 2, also known as The Road Warrior, is when everything goes completely belly up. And this film, society hasn't completely fallen apart yet. You still have people eating at diners. You still have people, like there's actual television. There's radio. There's some semblance of civilization left. We still have lawyers, even though the whole law and justice system seems to have completely fallen apart and just favors the criminals and whatnot. So this is like part Dirty Harry in a lot of ways with like vigilante justice. The only thing that really separates the main force patrol, as they're known in this movie, you see the MFP on all their vehicles, and the people that they're up against is a badge. And in fact, the bad guys call them the Bronze. Hey, Bronze! It's the bronze badge that they wear. So bronze is used by the villains as a pejorative for the main force patrol. They all dress in leathers and they drive souped up V8 engine automobiles. Okay, so it's like, I don't know, it's very macho, very manly man, testosterone fueled film. And it opens with a character known as the Knight Rider, who is stolen. He's broken out of jail, I guess, and has stolen one of the V8 interceptors that's used by Main Force Patrol. So he has one of their vehicles, and he's tearing down the road spewing off a bunch of nonsense, you know. I'm the Knight Rider. I'm a fuel-injected suicide machine. I'm a rocker. I'm a roller. I'm an out-of-controller. And then we get Max, who is kind of our most heroic character in the movie, who has his introduction in this car chase. And he takes out the Knight Rider, which sets up our main source of antagonism in the movie, which is the Toe Cutter, who is an associate or a friend of the Knight Rider, who now has a personal vendetta against Max Rokitansky and the Main Force Patrol. And of course, he's played by Hugh Keys Byrne, who also appeared in Fury Road, but I'm not here to talk about Fury Road. He played a different character in that film, you know, but in this film, he plays the Toe Cutter. He's a very charismatic, almost like cult-like leader. Has a gang of guys. They ride around on bikes, like I said. He's like part Mongol warrior, part, I don't know, Jim Jones, you know. He's like, the Knight Rider. Remember him when you look at the night sky. He's just, he's just a Johnny boy. You know what I mean? He's just really intense. And he kind of plays that like unhinged, his voice kind of does a lot of different things throughout the movie. I just think he's brilliant. I think he's a great villain. I put him right up there with, you know, the Dirty Harry villain. What was that guy's name? Scorpio, I think, was the guy from Dirty Harry. He was fantastic. I think the level of charisma here is at that same level. This is kind of like an Old West film, but with cars instead of horses, and you can see a lot of parallels to things like, say, Tombstone, where, you know, Wyatt Earp and his brothers maybe weren't the most upright, upstanding people that we've come to believe. In a lot of ways, the Clanton gang and the Earps, there really wasn't a whole lot of difference between them, except that the Earps had badges and the Clantons didn't. So, you know, it's kind of that outlaw justice vigilante type thing, and this is Max's origin story. We get to see him become Mad Max. He's not mad at the beginning of the movie, but he's definitely mad by the end. And, you know, there's something about this film. I just respect it. It was filmed on a budget of $350,000, which if you adjusted for inflation today would be about $1.5 million. And look at Furiosa right now in the movie theater. What does that movie cost? It was like a budget of, I think, like $150 million budget. And it has to make in excess of $300,000 once you account for distribution and advertising and everything, okay, in order to, quote unquote, make money or break even. And it's flopping, and it's flopping hard. And there's just something about these old films that did everything on a shoestring, that did real stunt work with real practical effects, a shorter running time. I mean, this movie's like, I don't know what the runtime is. I don't think this is longer than 90 minutes. And you look at Furiosa in the movie theater right now, it's like 2.5 hours. It's like 225 minutes or something like that. I don't feel like sitting in a theater that long. I don't want to sit in a chair in a movie theater for over 2 hours. I'm sorry, I don't. So that's why I didn't go to see it. That's why you should watch Mad Max. If you've never seen the original Mad Max with Mel Gibson, check this one out. This is the one that started it all. And, you know, I still think it holds up. I think it's a great movie. And I'll take this over Fury Road or Furiosa any day of the week. So, thanks for watching. And have a wonderful day.